Hi, and welcome to the Thinking Out Loud podcast, a show with meaningful, and I mean it, meaningful conversations with non-native speakers. My name is Jedrek.
My name is Masha, as always.
I just wait for it, don't act like Pavlov's dog, just wait. And,
I wasn't going to say, because it was your line, so I thought, something is, maybe I should, fill in or whatever. So it wasn't Pavlov dog's thing.
All right. Sorry. I thought that, because for the past few times it was like myself, Jendrek, and I thought that you were going to say like myself, Mash. This non-native speaker like.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, welcome everybody to the show. We are back, and Masha, it's an enormous pleasure speaking to you, of course, again.
But
connecting.
But it's a shame. There's two of us.
There's no but. There's no. Oh yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. That is the only but we have. But or but.
No,
anyway,
we actually have two.
We actually have two buts.
But one but.
But yeah, it's true. It's just us. But I hope you don't mind, dear listeners. It's kind of your fault.
It's not, that's what I was going to say. If you're sick and tired of listening to the two of us, just join.
Yeah, join us, and add some, some fresh air.
And fresh blood.
And yeah, exactly. Maybe fresh blood. We could. I'm sure I told you before the show. There's a long line of people who just
imaginary line
called up, and take part in this podcast. But since there are the two of us, so what are we going to talk about today? In the spirit of a spontaneous and natural conversation, which is the kind of goal of this podcast.
I'm not sure how spontaneous it is, because it's been bugging you for the last how many weeks, because you're preparing for this.
Right.
Again.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
That's
you're a great. Yeah, exactly. That's a great maybe subject for our today's meeting, because I am going to present again, this time in Paris, Well, look at me, Barcelona, Paris, my career is
skyrocketing,
but the truth may be a bit more sour. But nevertheless, after my presentation in Barcelona, I came back totally enthusiastic, and I thought that, hey, why don't I send my application to TESOL France? This is the biggest conference for English teachers in France. And why don't I simply offer a speech on AI? Why not? These machines and everything. This is all over the place.
Why did you feel enthusiastic about AI after Barcelona?
I didn't feel enthusiastic about AI. I'm not in this camp, but I felt enthusiastic about sort of hedging against AI. Hedging against AI. And this is, Basha, also your there's also your contribution here, because our conversations, whether here on this show or especially those informal ones, the exchanges of our text messages, where you were writing like, we are cooked, it's over, it's the end of the world, and so on, in the context of AI. Well, maybe you never mentioned the end of the world there, but
it was always you.
Yes, I'm dramatizing it, but the point is that our exchanges obviously shaped my approach to AI, meaning that
I don't want to take this responsibility.
No, it's not. It's not. It's like there's nothing you can do about it, because you say something and it creates certain effects in another
That's why I
person's
never
mind.
go to conferences and I never say something, because this is what might happen. A
You
very
mean that
enthusiastic, rational, teacher whose career was skyrocketing now is going to ruin it by telling people
there is a risk of that? Yes, there is a
people.
risk that you're going to say something well, stupid, and then you're gonna
No, I
regret
didn't
it.
say that. No, I didn't say that.
No, it's not. Maybe, but maybe inaccurate or something that you don't really
No, no.
agree with.
You talk about your
No,
conference
I mean,
chairs?
no, I mean about teachers presenting at conferences, or not even teachers, anybody who has this opportunity to go up there and say something to a wider audience. So
Not stupid, not something you didn't mean. I mean quite the opposite, something you mean and strongly believe in. But people, there are two types of people who strongly believe in something. One camp, they are fanatics, and the other
yeah.
camp, they're always self-doubting. And when
Hmm.
you are doubting what you believe in, I mean, how can I take this responsibility and go out there and speak to people? Because the word is a
Hmm.
powerful thing,
Yeah.
and I'm never 100% sure that what I believe in is
Great point, Masha. I know,
what is.
great point. I've got the same. And it's not like oh, I know exactly what I want to say. I know exactly how reality works, or I discovered something others don't see, can't see, and and no, I'm far from that. In fact, while thinking about my speech, because coming back to this enthusiasm after my speech in Barcelona was like, wow, yeah, cool, great. And I felt like I have really touched something of substance, back there.
And
And
how
I
did you
thought,
feel it in the conversations you had after the conference?
yeah, also the feedback was really important there. The
Hmm.
feedback was really important. It really, like, I really struck, some note that resonated for sure. And I think that also in our context of English language teachers, this kind of wider perspective on education as a sector, as a field,
Such as a
uh,
sect and stop there.
sect, yeah, as a sect, yeah, sorry, but yeah, as a wider, some kind of a wider point of view is also necessary, and I don't see a lot of that. I mean, it's not like I'm a frequent goer to conference goer. Like I don't know what's happening at each and every conference. Of course, there are a lot of probably fantastic presentations that go unnoticed because of the policy of the organizers. They don't record it, they don't publish it. So basically, whoever was there in the room, like 20, 30 people, you know, they heard it. Maybe they shared something on social media, but it dies quickly. So unless you really publish it somewhere and I don't know, or I don't know, actually you just promote this. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that I was enthusiastic after my speech about education in general, right? But in and the current state of the ELT. But then um, I signed up for the new conference in Paris, and I just forgot about it. Why? I mean, it was July, I think. So you forget about it. And then I got around to preparing, for this conference, and I just refreshed. What have I actually written in my abstract? Yeah, like what is my speech going to be about? And I was like, okay, I read it. Okay, that makes sense. But then, given how much happened in the meantime, especially in the domain of AI, and the tools and everything, I was overwhelmed. It's like it is absolutely impossible to talk about ELT in the era of AI Because it's like, and I remember that Scott Thornberry said that few months back, I mean in February, that talking about ELT or AI in ELT, in fact, is like jumping on a running bus, because the situation is changing so fast. So it's absolutely impossible. I was checking these language schools. Remember the ones that we were observing or just commenting on, and so on. And I thought that, hey, maybe I should basically do some sort of a review of the AI, the application of AI in the new setting, right? And by schools, by entrepreneurs, by everybody, and then reach some sort of conclusion. But that turned out to be totally impossible. There are too many entities, too many enterprises. There is too much of everything. And I decided basically to do a little substitution, to take a step back, and instead of talking about ELT in the era of AI, I'd rather focus on education in the era of technology. So, from I'm losing a little bit the focus. I mean, no, it's not like losing focus, but maybe, I'm not looking into details. I'm looking at this, broad picture.
Strategically.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that from this perspective, things look a bit clearer because, just because you see, the big picture. Obviously, the details, it's something that's fascinating. I think, by the way, Sam Gravel, who was our guest here on the show, he's doing a fantastic job speaking about the application, the practical application of technologies like Chat GPT in the classroom, and he's doing that from the perspective of the TBLT, which is fantastic. There's a lot of good stuff coming from that technology, no doubt about it. And I'm not going to be a wet blanket, and I'm not going to sort of try and put out this enthusiasm, the overall enthusiasm that is there, because there's no point doing
And
that.
you're not urging people to go back to the caves.
No, definitely not. I mean, there is no way, Masha, that either teachers or any other professionals can can go back to this pre-technological era, and I don't know, start using pens and pencils and chalk and the blackboard,
or even sticks.
This is
even
it sticks. Yeah, exactly. No. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. However, if you look, there was a quote by Mustafa Suleyman, who there's a new book called The Coming Wave. It's about AI. Guess what? This wave, it's coming. And he said something that I sort of remembered suddenly when thinking about this education, the era of technology and ELT and AI, that the first stage of that technology, the first impact, will be a tremendous boost of productivity, tremendous boost of the GDP in general, when we talk about different sectors, because this is what it's going to do in the short term. That means it's going to make us more intelligent, more clever. One teacher could suddenly be able to design bazillion courses, different materials, individualized.
I don't see how that makes us more intelligent. More efficient, yes.
Yeah,
well,
that was a mental shortcut.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
We're not
you're
there
right.
yet. Okay.
You're right. Yeah, but thanks for catching this. But the general effect in the short perspective, and God only knows what is short these days. Is it 1 year? Is it 5 years? But I don't think longer than that. It's going to boost our efficiency in whatever we are doing. Whether you're a writer, teacher, or course design or whoever, you are going to profit enormously from all the tools that appeared on the market, and they are based on this founding technology called LLM. It's large language models, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's catching the captions from videos, or everything is based on that technology, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That is the short term, but this is what Suleiman says later, is that ultimately this technology is labor replacing. So, and I think it's logical, and crystal clear that if tech can do so much, it can go, the extra mile and replace the designer. If it can already design, it can replace the designer for sure. So, with that in mind, I decided to skip that phase of increased productivity, which I think it's going to be covered by others, and it's important too, the tools and so on, and what you can do in classroom right now, and so on. And I decided to go right to the next stage, and concentrate on how can we actually, well, hedge against being replaced. And that's one thing, but it's not even the most important thing, because it's not about losing jobs. I mean, if AI can perform what I'm doing really well, or even better than I'm doing it, then I will, retire happily, because there's a tool, there's a system that is carrying this work, and it's doing it in a fantastic manner, right? Education is safe, people are well educated, the world is a better place, because that's our mission, right? As teachers, I guess. I mean, just like very, very global mission, right? You're frowning. Why
Yeah,
is that?
you're retiring. Well, I'm very uh, practical. I don't know. Uh, okay, this is not about it. This is not about it right now. Yeah, it's about education and
Yeah, but
higher
I
stuff.
know
Okay.
that I'm speaking from this, a point of view of some ideals,
Yeah.
but and the ground situation is kind of totally different. I mean, you go to work, you get paid,
Yeah.
and then you buy bread, that's what you do. And of course, um not letting you do that will be some sort of painful moment, right? I mean, even if that work that you do is not as efficient as it could be, right? Because, but still, it's your work. It's normal, right? People go on strike if they see that there's something threatening their workplace, in their profession, right? But whether we like it or not, it may happen if we don't realize what's wrong with, or it's not like what's wrong. There's nothing wrong with current, um, um, let's say, how to put that, technologization, or the current
Digitalization.
digitalization.
Technology.
I don't know what. Yeah, exactly. But with this current saturation maybe of education with technology, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, our um, schools profited enormously from technology. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff that happened. I mean, this, individualization, this individual approach to every learner. These are, long story short, fantastic times to be a student, and having also this chat GPT to ask something. I was, the other day, I was solving an FCE multiple choice quiz, and I
You?
honestly, yes, I mean,
Maybe
just
CPE at least, but why?
no, that was but come on, I was doing it for before a class. I wanted to see, if the test is, oh, sorry, yeah, I know why. I didn't have the answer key, so I just needed to solve it quickly to be able to later to have the key and compare the answers of my students. But The point is that there was one question I wasn't sure about. FCE.
For
Okay.
our listeners, this is the FCE. It's the first certificate in English first.
Yeah, it's
It's not
it's
even
English first.
advanced.
Exactly. So it's not advanced, but come on, even teachers may
Yeah,
sometimes struggle,
sometimes.
especially non-natives like myself.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
then okay, I had some doubts, and I narrowed down the choice to two answers. And I didn't know which one is actually the right one. I wasn't like, I couldn't say it for sure. I felt which one is the right one, and I was correct, but I couldn't explain why. And then I decided to let's ask GPT, what's the correct answer, and he provided an excellent explanation of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so you can already figure out how fantastic are these times when you have a teacher or an assistant ready to answer all of your questions, to clear your doubts. You learn, you have questions, you don't have to wait for the next class or for the teacher to tell you and so on, but basically you solve these problems on the go. Fantastic. The same refers to this kind of data-driven education, where when I believe I don't have any experience in that, but imagine you have a big classroom, and basically you've got a program that is monitoring everybody's progress. You see who's
Of
struggling
course.
where.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I mean, it's fantastic. Full stop.
Yes.
But two buts. The point is that
Butting out loud. Okay.
butting out. Great. Finally, we have the title. But the point is that despite these enormous change, this enormous progress that has been achieved, there is now a technology which we can call, it's not my label, but someone called it the ultimate educational edtech, educational technology, the ultimate, because it can write, it can speak, it can do a lot of stuff, and it sounds like human, it's logical. It's in a way, this chat GPT, if you look at it from certain perspective, is in a way an ideal product of the modern system of education. You would like your students to be like chat GPT, to give you answer to every question in 10 points, and everything's logical, everything's there's a lot of knowledge, there is a lot of coherence, in what they say. They sound like they are logical, they are sensible, they are even creative, because what many people think is that, it's just a machine, it's never creative because only humans are. No, it's not true. Chat GPT is creative. And what's funny, because I asked the other day, I asked Chat GPT, so what are human teachers for anyway, in the times of such brilliant software like yourself? And he said, of course, he gave me the answer in 10 points, like ChatGPT does, and there were like 10 reasons why human teachers should stay. One of them was critical thinking skills. And creativity was there, of course, there was some empathy, blah, blah. And then the next question I asked, so could you teach me critical thinking skills? You know the answer? It's the answer that you always get. Certainly. And there's a 10-point plan how to teach you creative thinking. And then I asked, but could you actually design materials and then evaluate my answers? Certainly. What's going on here? I mean, so human teachers are there to teach you creative thinking, but you can do
It's
it.
their advantage,
You
but
are actually doing it, and
so
who
you
knows,
see
maybe
what
you're
is
doing
it's
it better.
sugarcoating it for you. It's saying, of course you
Yeah.
should stay a little imperfect human. Of course there's a place for you. Don't worry. See how you are much better than I am. But
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
There was, that is kind of, what's going on, because we are supposedly there to teach all these, human only skills, but they can actually be broken down into some, components, and then they can be taught I believe that critical thinking could be also subverted in this way, that that you could teach each and every element of critical thinking, like question everything that you see, and then next blah blah, and then you can follow this procedure.
Yeah, I see how
and
you
you will
say
end
that
up being
it's a ideal product of, because this is what people are were led to believe today, that you can learn
yes,
anything,
yes,
anything, and there's always
yes.
a video for that, a very
There's a
short
tutorial.
video,
Yeah,
very short
exactly,
video,
exactly.
and it will be broken down for you into
Yeah.
digestible,
Yes. Yes. So in a way, what the designers from California, I don't know if they're probably from California, right? Designers are all from
India.
California. What they did, launching ChatGPT and right now, lots of others, they designed in a way a perfect student, or rather a perfect graduate. That is somebody, we would like to, right now, the current system of education would like, and this is its goal, to arrive at this level of output, to produce students that are just like ChatGPT. Except now there's ChatGPT, and what's the need of such students? I mean, they could never beat ChatGPT. I mean, with the versatility and so on and so on. So basically, this system has been great till it stopped being great, because suddenly we've got an artificial product that is in a way better than the human product, even after years of schooling. Well, first because it's faster and so on, but again, but you've got these buts all over this show. But we have arrived at a situation that I think the winemakers faced or are facing right now, and they have been facing it for quite a long time now, because there was, I think, the story comes from Albert Borgmann's work on technology and the character of contemporary lives. I think this is the title. I'm going to base part of my presentation on that book. It's fantastic. But I think he mentions, the situation where you have two bottles of wine. One is the natural wine from a vineyard, made traditionally, great wine, because there's know-how, there's everything, and that wine is the essence, of and it's simply delicious, it's fantastic wine. But scientists discovered how to produce such substance like wine that has exactly the same qualities. And of course, originally, I mean, at the beginning, that substance wasn't as good as the wine from the vineyard, great vineyard. But gradually they improved their technology and the processing, of everything, and right now they are able to produce wine or wine-like substance, but
In a lab.
we can, in a lab, yeah. And this wine
And it's
has
cheap,
the
of course.
same, well, if it's mass produced, of course. But this wine has the same taste, the same clarity, color, aroma, everything. So if I give you two glasses and one is filled with this original wine from the vineyard made by humans, you taste, it's great. Then I give you the second glass, you taste, you say it's fantastic. Both are good. You can't even tell which one's natural, which one's not. And my point is that, of course, this second wine has one additional advantage, maybe two or more advantages. One is the cost, like you said, it's cheaper. And the second one, it is consistent. You can produce the same quality throughout years or even decades. Whereas in, the wine production, the natural one, you've got summers that are rainy, you've got summers that are too dry, too hot, whatever. The grapes are not always that good. That's why we have those years in, of wines that are great and the years that are so-so, right? But here, you produce a product that's of excellent quality, and it doesn't matter if it's raining or if it's shining, So that is, that is it. And now the question is, and because we in education we have, I guess we are arriving at pretty much the same point. How do you distinguish, a human, well-trained in the system versus ChatGPT or any, artificial worker or assistant? I mean, how do you distinguish them? Oh, and of course, I'm talking about really, really well-trained graduates, those straight A students. It's very hard. And we have to, as teachers, of course, also think about how to differentiate ourselves. Where is this added value of humans? And it's not easy, because the system of education has been, for years, of course, designed to produce that ChatGPT that suddenly, was made. This artificial wine is finally there, and it's great. It's perfect. So
But what if there is no added value? I'm sorry.
There is, but we sort of lost sight of this because we've been busy training and not teaching. This is everything that this show was about for the past 2 years.
So I believe you're going to concentrate on this added value. You're going to
of course,
enlighten people.
Of course. I mean, it's not like I'm going to concentrate. It's not like I know much about it. But coming back to Borgman's work, he said that technology works in a specific way. There is a certain pattern. It's working. And to cut the long story short, technology is basically turning whole things into individual components. And these components later, they are, of course, instantaneous, ubiquitous. You can have it everywhere. They're safe, easy to use, blah, blah, technology is also affecting values also, because, I mean, it's not like, we can suddenly design technological freedom, because it will never be freedom, but technology subverts freedom, and, for example, substitutes freedom with a lot of choice. You've got your supermarket with lots of products. This is freedom, technological freedom, not a real one. And we, being aware of that technology subverts ideas, we have to search for what was there, what has been subverted. So we have to do this reverse engineering, sort of. If you look today at our education system, and you see that, for example, the most, stuff that is really being valued is proficiency, skills. What else, Masha? What is there? It's like proficiency, skills, maybe. I would say, yeah, meritocracy in general, but you can break it down into some particular concepts, and something that we cherish today, like, wow, this is the most important thing. You have to get skills, knowledge, and so on. But each of them has certain equivalent, or rather, a parent that had to go because technology couldn't recreate it. So like in the case of freedom can't be materialized by technology. So you have this choice that is, some sort of a semblance of it. And I asked ChatGPT, what could be, for example, the equivalent of courage? And it gave me 10 points list.
Why is it always 10?
Yes. I don't know. Actually, it's a magic number, for chat. But the point is that one of them, because there was like really a lot of substitutes of courage. And at the end, of course, ChatGPT said that none of them replaces courage entirely, but altogether, if they are combined, you can actually achieve something like courage, But one of these points was, for example, self-confidence. It's very important to have self-confidence because it's close to courage, you know. And then another point was, I can't remember now. I hope it's somewhere in my history, you know. I may actually use it on Sunday. But the point is that you have something like courage, that it's a complex thing, you know, because technology is breaking it down into particular elements and then schooling you in all these elements, thinking that at the end you will be courageous. You will find courage to do whatever, you know. But I don't think this is how it works, you know. So basically, what we are being offered are some substitutes. Of course, the longer we stay in this system, the more we believe that this is the real thing. Like, you know, that you don't need courage. It's enough to have self-confidence. You don't need, let's say, I know what would be the equivalent of a proficiency. I think there is this beautiful concept of excellence, you know, human excellence. And this, of course, it's kind of, you know, old school, old fashioned thing, but there is, you know, it's kind of reminds me, at least, I guess, others maybe too, of some kind of aristocracy, you know, and this excellence. But I mean, well schooled and helpful and smiling, and you know, it's this kind of, you know, like an aristocrat. Anyway, and
You know,
of course,
very, very, very few people actually stop to think about it.
yeah, I know,
And I
but
can't believe
if
I'm
you think
going to
about,
say that, but only white heterosexual males living in the south of France. Sorry.
you may be right, but you know, I was trying to find
Think of a teacher in India. And imagine this person, and good luck to you try and sell this idea to this person.
no, I mean, I know what you mean. It's not like I'm even trying to sell anything. This is an intellectual inquiry into how to hedge against technology. I mean, or even more, because it's not about saving my ass, saving my workplace,
Because your
because
workplace
it's,
is safe.
well, I don't know. You know, I'm a small one man enterprise. You know, self-employed and so on. I mean, if there's a storm or hurricane, I can hide somewhere, you know, and I may survive, you know, unlike, for example, a big school that will be destroyed, you know, or I don't know, a big
No.
Titanic, you know.
Big schools will survive. They will benefit. It's the people who are in the middle. Because
You mean
right
long
now,
term? How come?
what is changing? I mean, the status quo is still the same. Um, um, oh my God, it's going to sound nasty right now, but I'm trying to. Let's say there is you, yes, who provides, let's call it good quality education.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there's a lot of people who do this, what you call granular stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So here ChatGPT arrived. Yes, it didn't do much for you. Actually didn't do anything for you. You don't benefit from it in any way in terms of work,
Mm-hmm.
but other people benefit from it tremendously. So their life will just become easier for some time until
Mm-hmm.
they lose, many of them will lose their jobs, because big schools realize very, very quickly that why do I need to employ so many teachers and pay them so
Yeah.
much if I can,
Yeah.
for example, do this flipped classroom, and the session with the teacher I can cut it short, pay teachers less.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
things I can think of. So nothing actually has changed so far. These people
So
still
far, but
do their job. It will soon be, I mean, this job has to be done by somebody, you know. People have to learn nuts and bolts of, there's no way around it.
you
When
talk
you learn a
about
language, you have to do this learning. You have to learn, I
yeah,
don't
but
know.
I don't see why should actually a human teacher be teaching you.
Yes. So for this kind of work, it's easily replaced by technology, and it will be done much even better, faster, cheaper, let's say.
Yeah, I think so. You know, and much
This is
as we can, you know, speak about this empathy and so on, but come on.
But
I
at
mean,
the same,
big business has its logic.
but right now, at the moment, you know, we are at this stage where everything is so rosy, and my job is suddenly so it got easier. You know,
This is what
prepare for
Suleiman
classes.
talks about. You know, this amazing boost of efficiency. You know, that is the first stage.
Yeah, but for
You're
you,
there.
nothing will change. This stage, let's say, call it pre-technology, where all these people worked their asses, you know, to deliver a lesson. Now, this stage when everything is kind of so rosy and these people are suddenly feel liberated, but at the same time still well paid as much as they were used to pay.
Yeah.
And the next stage, when, I'm sorry, but a lot of people will lose their jobs, you will still be there delivering. Why am I using I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Why they are using the quotes, you know? This is not delivering what? You want to say quality education?
You say it.
Well, it is anyway my goal to deliver quality education. Though I may be, of course, my perception may not be correct 100%, but still I'm doing my best. But the point is that the risk I see for myself, for example, is that people stop seeing the difference between these two bottles of wine. You know, that they will basically take.
But in learning, it's
this
not two
artificial one
bottles
for the
of
real
wine.
one.
There will always be, you know, you learn stuff on your own, or with a teacher, or with an AI. What have you, you know? And then there is a next step where you need okay, I believe that you need a human being to, let's at least talk about it, because once you got all this all these nuts and bolts, now there is a time for you to not necessarily apply, but at least to maybe test your theories, to depends on the subject, you know, but you need a human being, somebody to bounce your ideas of, just to talk. And you will always be there. You have always been there, and you will be there. And maybe a lot of teachers who will soon see that, you know, what I'm doing can totally be outsourced to AI, and admit that AI can do it much better, they will join your camp.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's very hard to
That's a
talk
bright
about the
future.
future. Yeah, I mean, I could see in one of the scenarios me becoming a luxurious service, a provider of really something unique,
Why
something that,
luxurious?
because it's a conversation with a real human being, and the conversation is, let's say, interesting, you know.
No, in my scenario, all these teachers will, let's say, convert, and you will not be a luxury product anymore, because all of these people will be doing your.
It's hard to speculate, especially about the future, you know. But
that's you.
yeah, I
What
mean,
else you're doing, you know, in the
yeah, I just wanted because, you know, you say that I would like to go back to you know, to your comment about this kind of very how to put that, but you said that these ideas will not work in India for whatever reason. I hope they will,
at
but
this
the point
moment,
is,
because it's a matter
at
of
this
survival.
moment,
I'm
yeah,
telling you how
yeah,
I remember how I felt when at the beginning of my teaching career, when I went to all these conferences. And if you work for a school, you have a syllabus, you know, and then, so what happens? You go to these conferences, you hear not only tactics, but also the strategy, and this, you know, helicopter view, whatever, the things you are talking about, and you get inspired. Maybe not all people, because most people, not most, a lot of people go there to get some, you know, practical ideas to make their teaching whatever more fun, or but many teachers actually, yeah, get inspired, but then they go back to their classrooms with their syllabus, the school management, and maybe they try for a little while, but then you just can't fight the system. And the head of the school, it's well, not even the head. There is always the owner of the school who wants to, at the end of the day, make money.
Yeah, sure.
So, and this is what this is the teacher
but
I
your
have in
point,
mind, the teacher in India, when I say, this kind of person.
all right. Yeah. But, you talk about, I think, everything depends on the perspective, because in the long run, we had a fantastic guest here, Julie, who was talking about, how Western, is our point of view, very, very local.
Mm-hmm.
Are you there or are you frozen? All right. No, you're there.
No.
All right. And that there's the whole world that thinks differently, about education and so on. And that was really inspiring. But I'm not really sure about it right now with this technology being available all over the world, and this diffusion is almost, one-to-one, and actually all these language schools, AI-based language schools, most of them target Asia. If I open my app store and I see some kind of language teaching apps, and I'm not even oriented on Asia, because my app store is, I guess, a French app store, but still I see there's a lot of apps that are designed for the Asian market, and they teach languages and so on and so forth. So I think
because
that,
it's vast market, that's it.
Because it's vast, yeah, because it's vast. But anyway, the technology is not like, the technology is only, here, and only we use, whatever, smartphones or computers. I mean, everyone's doing that, everyone has a smartphone today, everywhere.
Yes, and this teacher in India, yes, they do have smartphones and computers. But
sure, I mean,
right now, their priority is how to, let's say, cut this preparation time, because that
is now, that
so,
is now.
and they are at this stage right now. That's what I'm trying to say. There are people at different stages.
Yeah, and I so okay, so I know, and from this perspective, my vision or my idea is kind of hard to swallow, right?
No, it's hard to swallow for people who are at this what is that step of this Maslow, let's say, teaching pyramid.
All right,
and you can your message will be well received by people who are, well,
higher than, I know what you mean, but anyway, I hope
heterosexual males living in France.
This is highly theoretical, because, but listen to this. I read a book by who was that, Byron Rees or someone like that. The book's title was The Fourth Age, or wow, I can't remember the title, because there was also the Fourth Revolution, I can't remember, but and then the fourth wave or coming wave and so on. But anyway, it was about the future, and he said, and that book is from the book, no, generally future, but but also about the job markets, blah blah. And the book is from 2018, so it's relatively fresh, And you know what he says in 2018? He says that he had these also projections about the future of the job market. And there were professions that he claimed were untouchable or impossible to replace by AI. And guess what?
Teacher?
No, there wasn't. He didn't mention teacher, but one of them was writer, copywriter, and creator of ideas. I mean,
copywriter?
Yeah. That is, a person who's typing text for commercials, for example, or some kind of supposedly
I know.
creative
So he
stuff.
put copywriter in the same group with the writer?
With writers, yes, with writers.
And they are untouchable?
According to him, from the perspective of 2018, these jobs were there to stay, and he even puts in parentheses a big yay, because he's an author,
2018. It was pre-ChatGPT.
Pre-ChatGPT,
okay.
2018. And look what happens.
These jobs are first to be
5 years later, 4 years later, in fact, I mean, these jobs are about to be wiped out from the planet. I mean, of course, maybe there will be a handful of great writers, but that we are again, Masha, facing this wine dilemma, because you can have a great book written by AI. I mean, great book, great story that reads really well and fast, and it's interesting. And you can have, of course, a story written by writer. There are a lot of great writers, that are out there. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about feeling. Do you feel the difference, or you don't? And I'm not sure about these feelings. If you are able to cater for this emotion, I don't know where does it come from? This sort of understanding of instant understanding that, okay, this is the real deal. This is
And
not.
this understanding is a product of good education.
I think
you're
yes.
claiming.
I think yes. We say in Poland that he or she knows Joseph. You know Joseph. It's not Józefa. It's like you don't have to say anything more because you know what's going on. You see through. And
Like Neo.
this, yeah, like Neo. I don't know what, but the point
Finally,
is,
one reference you understand.
yeah, but the point is that this should be our aim, and I think that once again, coming back to these equivalents, there is a list of qualities that we should focus on, like excellence, like courage, like lots of stuff that is very hard to recreate technologically, although there are attempts, of course, and some of them seem to be successful. They are never fully successful, but they seem to be. And the big question is, how do you incorporate teaching this into, for example, linguistic education, right? Into language classes. I think there are ways to do it, of course. I think modestly, I think that we are kind of trying something, here in this area. And I think there are also, this is a very good and optimistic thing, that good methodology, like I think task-based classes, dogme and so on. These are attempts at this holistic sort of approach to language teaching, and not Indian language teaching, but a person. You are there, the whole person that you are, and you express your ideas and so on. And I think this is totally different than just learning this PPP, one structure, then application of it, and and you repeat. So you are there as the whole person in the classroom. And I think I would have to think about it honestly, because I don't know how to finish my presentation right now. It's Wednesday and I'm presenting on Sunday. I don't know how to finish that. Just like Gabriel Garcia Marquez couldn't finish his 100 Years of Solitude for 10 years. So I may actually, finish this presentation 10 years later. But I will. I'm not going to hide it. I'll try to have a conversation there, with people who come to the presentation. I mean, come on, let's focus on how could we actually shift our focus. And according to Borgman, the mere realization of the fact that technology is subverting ideas and certain things, and things in this Heidegger's sense of Dinge. It means like, it's kind of a complex thing, but like I told you, courage is a thing with capital T. It's not some kind of a device or something, because yeah, exactly, the things are contrasted with devices.
Mm-hmm.
Courage is not a device, it's a thing. And so there are these things, and if we just realize that they are there, it's already a huge leap towards the healing of the whole system. And once again, it's not about preserving our jobs, it's about getting education right, to produce, sorry for the word, because it's not about production, but to produce graduates, or to educate people in a way that they are later able to face problems of this world. But again, it was another writer, I can't remember who now, I think Schumacher or someone, but he said that every time a family is broken, or every time someone suffers from malnourishment or hunger and so on, and every time there's a war between two neighbors and so on and so forth, it's not a problem of the lack of information. It's not a problem of skills. It's not. These are bigger things, and you may have the most skilled negotiator, and he will never bridge this divide between two enemies.
So you're saying that good education can never produce a person like Hitler?
Oh wow, that's a good
He
question.
was not
And
he was not well educated.
well, he was evil, so I don't think education system could ever produce an evil person. I mean, but then again, it's not like education system or education as such has any control over what will happen to each and every one on this planet, because there is no way to do it. I don't know where does evil come from. I don't know.
So
It's a
where
big
does
question.
your good life come into?
Yeah, there is. I told you, yes. Our listeners may not know it, but yeah, there is this concept of good life that is basically missing from today's education.
And good
Because
life, you
again, it's
mean not life full of wine and cheese, naturally produced,
yeah.
but a good
I
virtuous
mean, that
life.
is good life, Masha. I mean, that is good life, But sorry, someone is calling me. Can I pick it up? Oui, allô? Non, excusez-moi, ce n'est pas fitness. Ouais, apparemment. Bonne journée.
You can't resist a chance to practice your French, yes, even on the
Yes.
show.
I mean, people calling me asking if this is fitness club. Well, it is fitness club, but for your mind, lady. But all right. Sorry. But the point is that this concept of good life, it is necessary for education to be successful. We need to have some sort of idea of what is good life. This has been totally taken away from the equation, because technology doesn't know how to. I mean, technology is great, but at delivering certain results, but it may never tell you what's right, what's wrong, right? Because you can equally design bombs and weapons, and you can also have medicines and so on and so forth. So the technology absolutely has no moral compass.
Yeah, we
I mean,
do
it's
as
just there.
human beings, but look at what we've done. What good did
Yeah,
it
but
do?
I believe that getting more technological and thinking that technology or technological thinking can solve all our problems, and this is our perception today, right? Environment, well, outsource it to tech. Other problems, well, it's technology. There's tech for it. There's tech, for everything. I don't think it's working. It may actually even exacerbating the problems.
Well, I really appreciate your effort, but I think that we don't have much time. You say that there is this added value. I think it's not for a long. Very soon we will lose that edge. And there are movies that will show you how tech will destroy us, and there
Yeah.
are movies that show you how AI. There are movies where AI is. You can't help but understand, but see this that this AI, this robot, is
You
much
like
more
Blade Runner?
humane than an average
Yeah.
human being.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
think we don't
Yes.
have much time.
Well, yeah, and then it's whether
Maybe
we
you're already too late,
ultimately,
old man.
maybe I'm late to the game, but it's not. I mean, at the end, it's not about. I mean, there's not much an individual can do, but it's also at the end of the day an intellectual experiment. And I was trying, and I'm trying to offer some sort of a way out. And it's not like, okay, people, now we found it, let's go, and everybody's gonna, jump on the bandwagon and do it. No, of course not. But the point is that I guess I keep repeating, the point is that, so
The point is that thing with butting.
the point is that out loud, but and but, all the time. It's like butts. There's really butting out loud today. This is just an alternative, it's some kind of perspective that I find missing in the current discourse. That's all, so maybe, it's just one voice like that, and then 10 other voices like that. I'm not even claiming that, hey, I found, the solution to all the ailments of education and potentially, saving its future, but it's whatever will be, but
you will be there to say, I told you so.
To witness that. No, I mean, it's really fascinating. It's fascinating what is happening. It's really, I mean, the changes that were launched by ChatGPT. This is fascinating. But I was trying to sort of defend our position of teachers and educators, and this is where it led me to, because you can't defend it like, okay, now we have to switch and teach empathy, teach critical thinking, teach whatever, some social skills. I mean, all of that could be transformed. It doesn't change the paradigm of current education, because all of this is, could be accessed technologically. It could be either subverted or transformed in a way. But you could, I'm pretty sure I told you about ChatGPT. It can teach you critical thinking skills, really, and I mean it. It can even test you on that, and it can give you a score, and you could even be a perfect critical thinker, really, with ChatGPT. All right, Masha, I think we are
good luck with your presentation.
Thanks a lot, everybody who's listening to me. I mean, teachers going to this year's Colloquium in Paris. I'll be presenting on Sunday at around 1 p.m. And I don't know what I'm going to say to people. Like, I don't think there is time to rehearse the speech. I don't think there is time even to, I think I'm going to improvise a lot, a lot, because I don't have time to, I'll be really happy if I finish my presentation in PowerPoint. I mean, just to have, some sort of, points to talk about, because otherwise, the speech might be a disaster. I mean, in terms of organization, not in terms of, I'm sure that the content is fine, it's something to talk about, something to think about. And I still believe it's rare at conferences for teachers, to have this sort of, wider perspective, and not embracing tech, new tools. Wow, it's cool, and so on. But this is a concrete, I mean, it's funny, but it's theoretical, but also a concrete solution to what's happening, in the sense that, I'm offering a way out, or at least opening the door. And then what happens next? Because I don't know how to, honestly, I don't know how to teach things in our context, but we can all start thinking about it,
Like I said, good luck. This is
All
the
right.
end.
I guess,
Thank
so
you.
how about,
I don't know if anybody got to this point.
yeah,
Because
because
it was
once again,
not the usual.
it's I'm speaking my mind, and but thanks, Masha, for all the questions. I think they help a lot, to drive this whole discourse, and everything, and I know that very often is the case, that I think one thing and others totally don't get it, and I end up either preaching or sounding ridiculous. Not that it happened like a lot
I
of
feel
times
like
to me,
Sancho
but
Panza.
yeah. All right, great. Masha, thanks a lot for all the questions, and thank you everybody for listening to this episode of the Butting Out Loud.
I feel like a
And
Pavlov's dog now. You finish it today.
all right, so okay, really, sorry, no, I didn't mean to like.
No, sure. Come on.
All right, but okay, guys.
But
Before I say that, TESOL.podcast.com is our website. You can find a lot of useful stuff there, including voicemail and a way to support our show and help us get more professional.
yes, and you can
that
buy us a coffee because the conference doesn't even pay for Jendrik's ticket.
yeah, that's
And
right.
he's
They don't
trying
even
to,
pay
you know,
that. Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm enlightening everybody,
yeah.
and yeah. This was another episode of the Thinking Out Loud podcast. Stay tuned for the next one. Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.